but really trying to not only make real estate and your job a priority, but your kids a priority.
Yeah.
So, and everyone has hammered in to us that the time is fleeting with your little kids. So just to enjoy it and take advantage of that.
Yeah. It's tough. I think that guilt, I call it that mom guilt, but even dad guilt, it's that real thing, right? Because you're just always trying to be everything to everyone. And,
For sure.
So I think what you said, Elena, earlier is, just setting boundaries and kind of creating those for yourself, I think is always really critical. Today, I'm joined by two incredible women who have built one of the top real estate teams in Chicago, Refine Residential. Bari Levine Bruszer and Elena Theodoros-Tamillo are business partners, top producers, and longtime friends. In this episode, we're diving into how they built momentum early on in their careers, how they're staying agile in a constantly evolving industry, and what it takes to sustain a thriving business while raising young families. From mentorship and social media to setting boundaries with your clients, this conversation is packed with insight. All right, so Bari and Elena, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to have the two of you. You both have been with At Properties Christie's for a pretty long time. Bari, how many years has it been for you?
This will be my 21st year.
Wow,
I know.
21.
I'm legal.
You're so old.
What does that mean?
So you started when you were 5.
When you're legal in real estate.
Yeah, you're 29. You started when you were, okay.
Yeah.
9.
And Elena, what about you?
I started 15 years ago with At Properties.
Yes, so a long time.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's been a minute.
I came to At in 2004, so I'm 21 years probably also.
Oh, wow.
Who
Yeah.
knew?
Yeah.
Same years, yeah.
Yeah. What month did you start? I wonder.
October.
Okay, I started August.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Just before me. Yeah. So it's been a wild ride. I think all three of us definitely know that.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit. A lot of your At Properties colleagues know you, but a lot of people in Chicago and Chicagoland, you've been doing this for quite a while. You are a great duo. You've got an awesome team. But many agents, might know you, but I want to back up a little bit because I want to know how both of you actually got into real estate. So how did you start? And then what made the two of you team up? Because whatever you're doing, it's definitely working. So Elena, let's start with you.
Okay, cool. I started real estate right out of college, which is a commonality that we both have. I worked for a developer when I was in college as their nanny for 4 girls.
Okay.
And they were like, you need to come work in our showroom. You're so good. But like our girls are going to be so sad when you leave them. So I actually did both for this family, which was awesome. And it segued really nicely from there. I was a marketing major and not quite sure I thought I'd be doing this for now 15 years and going strong, but here we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's just so fun. How could you not?
Well, we're going to get into the fun because I know the two of you and your team do have
no fun.
a lot of fun. Bari, what about you? Tell me how you kind of got into the business.
Very similar. I was also a marketing major at Wisconsin, go Badgers. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I remember my friend, a good friend from high school who was a few years older than me, was in college before me, and she was like, if you don't know what you want to do, major in business. So I majored in business thinking that would be good for really anything. Ended up doing marketing because I liked the creative side, and then just made some connections and ended up getting an interview with Janine McShay at the time. Sat in At Properties, nice red coach leather chairs, and I thought, this is a good starting point. I don't have to do this forever, but it seems like a great opportunity and I'm going to go for it. And then 21 years later.
Well, it's kind of interesting because I feel like a lot of people don't come out of college and get into real estate, right?
Yes.
It's actually starting to happen more now. I have my niece's boyfriend is majoring in real estate, but for many people, it's usually the second or third career. I was in technology and then finally found my way into real estate and fell in love with it. But, so it's interesting that both of you kind of started your professional careers in the biz and are still here. So how did the two of you meet and decide to team up?
We lived in the same building in River North.
Okay.
And we were also on the Friends
Friends and Neighbors Community Fund. Now At Gives Back.
Okay.
Yes. I was going to say Friends and Neighbors. I'm like,
yes, a rebrand happened.
Yeah, so we were both on the At Gives
it's a
Back
charity board.
Lived in the same building, and I don't know. At some point we were marketing, we were sending separate postcards to the building.
But one person in particular kept getting the listings in our building. And he was a great guy, but we just thought we could do better. So we decided to join forces.
It probably took us way too long to get to that point.
Yeah. But just at least for our building, we decided to market together, which was confusing at the time because we were on two separate teams.
Yeah.
That year, I think we got 50% of the listings in our building. And then from there, people started referring us outside of the building, which ended up being really confusing when we're on two separate teams. So I think a year went by and we decided ultimately it just made the most sense to join forces.
Yeah, we were like talking about sharing an assistant for One River Place and like our stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So you're one of the top teams in Chicago, but I know that didn't necessarily happen overnight, right? For new agents that are out there, what's something that you feel that you did early in your career that helped to lay the groundwork for where you're at now? And, Bari, maybe you go first, but then Elena, jump in.
Yeah. Actually, we're probably similar. We both were really lucky to have some great mentors. And we were smart about utilizing that. I remember saving emails from one of my first bosses, per se, when I started out as an assistant, and just really paid attention. How did she respond to this email? How did she handle the situation? And just tried to soak everything in, shadowed as much as I could, said yes to every opportunity, and prepared myself as much as I could to bring my A game every time, even though I may not have known exactly what I was doing. Then just kind of applying that as things went on.
You just said something that made me think it is something that I think we both had at the beginning, where when you're faced with a situation that you don't know how to handle or you're not sure what the answer is going to be, to take the time to research what it is that you need to, find the solution for. And we were both, I think, fairly good at that at the beginning. And I know that when we see new agents, sometimes you can tell that they're not always doing that. The market has been good, right? The last 10 years. It was not when we started. And that was a big component to us either having the time or actually really needing to. Because when people were losing money selling their homes in 2010, 2011, 2012, they were looking at you to be like, hey, what do we need to do? What's the best advice that you can give to us? But also, we're going to lose our shirt. So how can we minimize this?
It was a big deal. I mean, I remember that.
Yeah.
And I love how you talk about mentorship, because I think that is so important as a new agent, no matter how you find it. And I don't think it means you have to be on a team, because I do think that there are more senior experienced agents that are out there that are more than happy to help a newer agent. And I'll tell you, I learned it the hard way. I was at the Clybourne office in the basement. It was my first opportunity to get a listing. This was probably 2004-ish. And I was newer to and it was a house in Bucktown, and it was called like an upside down house, where you walk in, and I had never seen many of them, but that's what it was called. When you walked in, and the top floor was the kitchen and the living room, and the bedrooms were below. So I was already done in for, because I didn't really know how to price it, but I did everything wrong. But what I did do is I went and I talked to Linda Brzezinski. We all remember Linda, who's now in Florida, and Kim, her daughter, is still in the business. But instead of asking her to go in and co-list with me, and she'd had tons of experience at Bucktown, I went and asked her a few questions, and long story short, I went into the listing and did everything wrong. I gave them the wrong price on the spot, and they were very kind, but it was really obvious that I had blown it. And so it's like, had I taken the time though to realize that mentorship and maybe pulling somebody in, again, sharing the listing, but I would have gotten 50% of something instead of zero, and I would have learned so much. So I love that you really tie your success back to others who've kind of been in the business before you.
And I think no matter how long you've been in it, you can't let your ego get to you. I have something coming up hopefully soon that's a mixed use, and I brought a commercial agent in because I just felt like that was going to be the best route for that client. And it's like, sure, let's do 50-50. Like, I've been doing this for 21 years, but this was a piece that I wanted a commercial expert to help with that side of it. So I just think no matter how new or veteran you are, you want that mentorship when needed.
Yeah.
And that's always going to be
And the
so
collaboration
helpful.
helps you grow, because you
And it's
just get
more
a different
fun.
perspective. It
Mhm.
is more
Yeah,
fun.
it is more fun.
So tell me a little bit about that fun, because you also there's the two of you, but you have a team
Mhm.
as well. So how do you bring that mentorship and that fun for your team members?
Yeah, we have come up with a pretty nice system because we do have agents on our team that are all different levels. Some are brand new, and then some are, have their Rolexes and are selling millions of dollars every year. So the mentorship depends on the level of um, years people have been in real estate. So we've set up a lot of opportunities to shadow listings, shadow buyer tours, or they're another client essentially of ours, our team. So when they call, we answer and make sure we make time to answer questions, come to a listing appointment if needed, and just help as much as we can, because we really want our team to grow to a team of all Rolex winners, which it's not Rolex anymore, but $10 million plus producers. That's always been a really big goal, not just to have the team help us, but be able to return the favor alongside of that, and we all grow together.
Yeah, that's great, because I think, they want that mentorship. And I think when they feel like you're vested in them, that's also what keeps it sticky, right? Because I think sometimes when people hit those levels, the 10, the 15, the 20 million, there is that question of, why do I stay on a team? Should I be out on my own? So I think a lot of it comes down to, what are they getting from the two of you?
We are very non-ego based, I think, is another big part of why we have stayed together and why we've enjoyed working with each other and why our team has stayed so strong as well. And that goes in with the rebrand that we had a few years ago. We were Bari and Elena Real Estate, and we were like, let's take our names out of it, which is not something that people often do in real estate. Like, your name is your business, right? And it still is, of course, but we made it Refine Residential so that people on the team could feel that ownership to take their business and make it whatever they want to and not feel like it has to be under Bari and Elena. So
I love that. All right, I want to shift gears a little bit, because we've had a lot going on, a lot of changes in the last year due to some lawsuits with NAR.
Wait, what?
Wait,
what are those?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, right, exactly. The constant evolution of, how agents are showing up on social media. And I know the two of you do spend quite a bit of time being out there on social. How has your business strategy changed over the years? And really, I would say over the past year, given so much of these changes. And what are you doing right now to stay ahead of the curve?
Yeah, I would say from the NAR changes perspective, I think we've just hammered in our value even more so than ever with our clients. Just, not only are we real estate experts, but we advise on staging, we're contractors, we're therapists, we're almost attorneys. There's just so many different hats we wear, and we make sure to deliver that value to our clients to make sure they know what we are bringing to the table. So we try to be really clear about that. As far as social media goes.
Yeah, Bari comes up with these ideas. She'll text me, I was just in the shower and like these 4 ideas came to my head.
I do my best thinking in the shower.
Okay.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Let's do handstands on Michigan Avenue and talk about, no.
It's the yogi in her.
Yeah. Anytime I could incorporate a handstand.
Yeah. No, so she comes up with these crazy ideas, but sometimes they're really fun and funny. And again, our kind of more sarcastic, don't take it too seriously humor, I think, comes out in those. And we don't know what we're doing, right? Like, we're totally faking it. We'll go in and be like, okay, so is this what we should do?
Are we funny?
Are we funny? Are people going to want to watch
do
this?
People understand this? And then it's also keeping in mind our clients. Sometimes we're showcasing a listing, and so we want to be respectful of them too, and we don't want them to think we're making a joke out of anything, but it's really more about how can we get the most views and how can we get the most attention to the property.
Sure.
But so we'll do all sorts of things. We're still even toying with the more traditional listing video as well as the funnier stuff, and just trying to gauge what kind of reactions we get. But I do think we have to pick a path and find that right social media brands. So.
You're welcome to come watch any of our video shoots. They're quite funny.
Oh, I bet.
Can
I be in one?
Yes.
I love
even the serious ones, we're like looking at each other like, are we really doing this?
Yeah.
Chat GBT.
Now, do you produce them yourselves? Do you have a company that helps support your social media? Because I know for so many agents, that's like the push-pull of like, do I just hire somebody to kind of keep me on track? What do you all do?
I mean, we're fortunate because we do have the ability to have a full-time marketing person. So, she helps a lot with orchestrating some of that. Again, all Bari's ideas. But it depends on the level of the listing, honestly, or what the quality of the video is that we want. You're able to accomplish so much with your iPhone. So we've invested in the little microphones now, which are, click them on. They're not that expensive.
We invested in them.
Yes. Yeah, they're like really $20, big investment. $100 maybe. But yeah, so she's been able to produce some of them for us. And then for some of our higher end listings or just different kind of content that we want, we do have a third party who has come in and done a couple of videos.
Okay. And do you feel like social is playing a role in you getting more business? Like, do you feel like people are seeing you and that is kind of something that you're going to continue to push and grow because it's paying off? Or
yeah, those kind of efforts are always hard to quantify, right? And even like our office on Armitage with our name on it, hard to quantify. But the more presence you have in anything that you're doing, right? The more likely it is that people are going to call you. Be like, oh, she continues to do stuff and she's out there and wow, they just have this great video and they look like they know what they're doing.
I get a lot of comments from past clients or people I haven't talked to in a long time. And I feel like we have gotten referrals that it's like, they don't necessarily say, I saw you on social media. But you're like, I haven't talked to you in so long. And, it's a way to stay in front of people almost, and they feel like it's their choice. It's their choice to watch you and to see what you're doing, as opposed to you sending a mailer, which we still do that too. But that feels different. And so people are more likely to watch something that's entertaining and funny, but maybe with a mix of some serious, cool properties as well. But again, it's like it's their choice to watch it or not.
I actually find it's the easiest way to also talk to your audience that doesn't live in Chicago, that may have someone to refer that's moving here. Like a college friend of mine who lives in Ohio. And she obviously just follows me on social media, gets none of my other advertising. And she's like, hey, a girlfriend of mine is actually moving there, just got a job. So had it not been for social media,
So it is working. It is working. I know I just had an old friend from college say like, I love what you're doing on social. And I had an old friend look me up on LinkedIn and it was kind of wild, so people do, she said I was lurking late night, but people do
totally,
look, so let's talk a little bit about this market right now, right? We've got a lot of buyers and sellers that are feeling, pretty apprehensive. We've got interest rates that aren't really fully cooperating, right? We are dealing with some inventory struggles in different pockets of the Chicago market and just overall the economy, right? So how are you approaching these conversations with your clients? Do you feel like it's impacting your business right now? Do you just float on, kind of buy it? What are you feeling like those conversations are that you're having right now?
I feel like every year there's something that buyers and sellers are apprehensive about. So it's kind of like, what is it this year? But the bottom line is, even 4 out of the last 6 recessions, prices went up. And I think real estate has been now voted or deemed to be the best investment over stocks and bonds and for the 12th year in a row. So there's a lot of stats and figures behind why real estate is a great investment, despite economic factors and rates and all of the changes that are going on in the world. There's always going to be buyers and sellers that are nervous about the market every single year, every month, every minute. But you just have to look at the big picture and the facts.
Yeah. And I think that, I saw it somewhere where somebody still brought up 07 and 08 and what happened there. And it's like, that was such a one-off, and so it's like really making sure consumers know that. And it had nothing to do with real estate. It had everything to do with a mortgage crisis that has now been something that can't get replicated, right? But I agree, and I think it's just probably spending the time having a conversation, right? Because I think there's a lot of headlines that scare and confuse consumers. And I think that's where we as agents have to step in and have the real conversations, because this is going to be the year for some buyers and sellers to make a move and for some of them to hold on the sidelines, right?
Bottom line is there are people that they have to move sometimes. So I think our job and obviously those circumstances is just guiding them through the best way to make it happen, because if they have to move, there's low inventory. They also need to sell. There's so many different variables, and obviously try to show our value through all of it. So.
And of course we try to align with our clients' goals too, because maybe it's not the best thing for everyone. If someone sees themselves moving out of the city in the next year, maybe you don't want to buy, you know, but long term, it has been proven. It's a good investment. So
yeah, I love it. And you had the stats to prove it.
I had the stats.
All right, I want to talk about something that I think is amazing and I appreciate so much, being a working mom, but you balance your great careers, running a team, and you've got busy personal lives. You both have children. You're awesome moms. How do you set boundaries so that you can show up for your team and your clients, but also show up for your family and those growing kiddos of yours?
Yeah, how do you do that?
We're still trying to figure it out,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Elena, teach me.
It was a learning curve, something that, did not figure out overnight, but it really comes down to just expectations for your clients and figuring out that they're very amenable to work with your schedule and that not every call needs to be taken at that exact moment. You can schedule stuff. It's amazing. And everyone's texting on their phones too. And you can schedule a call for a time that you are available. And I think most of our clients do know we have kids, right? It's not a secret. We're not keeping it apart from them. And they appreciate it oftentimes. So yeah, again, just kind of scheduling that out, making sure that you can say, okay, I've got these 2 hours that I need to be present for my kids. And I can call you at 8 o'clock once bedtime's over, assuming I can get them in their beds on time.
So that's great, setting the client expectation.
Yeah.
But I'm curious because I remember, and it still sometimes happens to me, my daughters are 15 and 17, but it's like they have zero interest in me. And then the second I get on a work call, it's like something triggers in their bodies to come over and need something that instant.
Yeah,
when they were really little,
so true.
I was the worst mom ever because I would be in my house on a call and I would just be like, 1 second.
Yeah.
And then I would go out the front door to finish my call because they were crazy and I couldn't concentrate. And I thought I was such a bad mom. And then I would talk to other agents and all of us all had the same trick. So, you know, I actually think the clients oftentimes do get it, but it's really sometimes our family. So tell me kind of on the kids side, how do you bribe? What's your bribing tactic, right?
There's definitely better times than others. As much as I hate to admit it, iPads are helpful.
Yes.
We try to limit it, but if there's a call and my husband's not home and I need to take it, an iPad can go a long way. But I mean, really, it's more scheduling. Like I really do try to schedule around after my kids go to bed, I will take the calls. Of course, there's one-offs that are more urgent. Like
time sensitive.
Last night I was at a friend's house and really trying to get an offer in before anyone else did. So I was kind of escaping to take the calls, which happens every now and then, but really trying to not only make real estate and your job a priority, but your kids a priority.
Yeah.
So, and everyone has hammered in to us that the time is fleeting with your little kids. So just to enjoy it and take advantage of that.
Yeah. It's tough. You know, I think that guilt, I call it that mom guilt, but even dad guilt, it's that real thing, right? Because you're just always trying to be everything to everyone. And,
for sure.
You know, so I think what you said, Elena, earlier is, you know, just setting boundaries and kind of creating those for yourself, I think is always really critical.
And again, we're fortunate to be at the point that we are in our careers that if someone isn't, you know, willing to work with us on those
you're okay
things,
saying no thanks.
Like maybe this isn't the right fit. But it doesn't happen often, honestly. Like most people, as long as you can respond in a timely manner, they understand.
Yeah. So. And we've also set up systems. Like we're lucky to have a team. And so we all have each other's back, and no one, no matter if they have kids or not kids or anything, no one is available 24/7. And so no one can promise that. So it's important to be realistic about that. Set the expectation with the client that we do have a team and here's how we are here to support you 24/7. It may not always be me on the phone. Most of the time it is, but you know, there's always those one-offs.
Yeah. And I think as clients, like they don't know if you're not setting the boundaries. They don't know that, hey, maybe, you know, I can't take a call between, 5 to 6 o'clock because that's, kids, dinner, soccer. So I think it's just us being as good about, setting that boundary.
Are you laughing at me already?
I'm laughing because I have to tell the story of Bari and like how, again, she did the whole kid thing 2 years before I did, but how much we didn't know what that meant going into it. At the hospital, Bari brings home her baby and she is computer out. I went to visit her. And
negotiating deals.
I mean, she was like, but I have to make this call. I have to tell the client. I mean, I think the one client didn't even know she was pregnant and in the hospital having a baby. We were like, Bari, they will be okay with it. Like, get out of the denial of it.
It was definitely a learning curve.
Yeah, it takes a while.
Yeah,
it takes a while.
It's a whole mentality shift, and you realize that it's totally fine.
Yeah.
But when you're in it and how we got to be where we are, we were saying yes to everything.
Mm-hmm.
You were answering every phone call whenever, anytime. So it is hard to change that mentality.
Yeah, it takes a little while. And it takes some confidence to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we are getting into our rapid fire sessions, which are my favorite. This is the mess behind success. Okay. So I think this is appropriate.
I feel like I need to change my position.
Rapid fire. Okay, here we go. What's a mistake you made as an agent that was a big learning moment?
Not responding to clients in as timely of a manner that I have now changed. Trying to change still.
We both answer?
Sure.
Okay. I kept on a verbally abusive client for a while.
Oh.
So that was the worst.
Yeah, those are tough. Those are tough.
Not doing that anymore.
Mm-mm. All right, this one's great. What's a memorable fake it till you make it moment you had to pull off as new agents?
As new agents?
Yeah.
We're not still faking it.
you might be
right
we
never
now.
know.
Trying to go on Lower Wacker Drive with a client, having no idea
where you were going.
Was.
Oh God!
And
this was actually yesterday. I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. I mean, totally. Now we have GPS that works.
Right.
15 years ago, it was like
MapQuest.
Yeah.
Like, where are we going today? Yeah. So I think it was like, I just wanted to take you around the block and like show you a few of these things, and I'm like ferociously looking for any streets that I know how to get out of.
Yes. Yeah. Mine was probably, we were so young when we started that any new client that I met was first asking me, how old am I? How old are you?
Are you
how
old
long
enough
have you
to
been
drive
doing
that?
this? So I used to have heels in my car that I would like slip on to see any client. But yeah, I didn't know where I was going. I MapQuested everything. I would get to a buyer tour 15, 20 minutes early, drive around, because you didn't have like Yelp or you couldn't find things. So I was like,
how many people right now listening are like Googling MapQuest?
Yeah.
What is MapQuest?
Oh my God. I used to use it in the suburbs.
Yeah, I would print off these maps. And I would take note of where the closest L stop is, where the nearest grocery store is, a park. I had no idea. But then when I walked in, I would be like, the grocery store, this is a great location. Yeah. The grocery store is right by, it's a tree-lined street. Did you know the one across the street just sold for this price? And then I sounded like I knew what I was talking about. So I guess we did a lot of research. But
research, yes.
Yeah. But
research and high heels.
If you don't know what you're doing, you have to do research and then you fake it as much as you can and hope for the best.
Yeah, I love it. What's the most unexpected request you've ever gotten from a client?
I had to clean up. I guess they didn't request it, but I showed up to a showing and this cat, I hate cats. I'm sorry. I love dogs. I'm sorry if you guys are cat lovers, but this cat had made a mess, not just like in one spot. It was like all up the wall and everywhere. And I had to clean it up. It was so disgusting. But then I told the client and they didn't even apologize. They're like, oh yeah, she does that. Oh,
gosh, that's crazy. All right, so this one was probably pretty appropriate. What's one work moment where you looked calm on the surface, but it was chaos behind the scenes? Is there any listing that you guys had or any?
Yeah, recently one that comes to mind, we were just in a negotiation, so on the phone with our client and trying to come up with a counteroffer situation. And all of a sudden she just says, okay, who's the buyer's agent? And she was kind of a know everybody kind of person. We say, the team.
Oh, yeah.
She goes, oh my gosh, I know her so well. Hangs up on us and then calls the agent directly.
Yeah.
And ends up negotiating with her this deal. yeah, so behind the scenes, we were like freaking out. We're like, she's going to kill this deal. She like really needs this offer. What is she doing? On the
But it ended up
surface,
working out okay.
It has all worked out, knock on wood.
She's happy.
Yeah,
We were
okay.
going to try to get a little more money, but she's happy.
Yeah,
okay.
So we're happy, and
That
we're
was a
happy for everyone
very
that was
weird one.
involved.
Very
wow.
hard one.
Yeah.
A surprise around every turn with that one.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yep. Every deal's
Yep.
fun and
You never
exciting. All right. So this is our second rapid fire style, and this is red flag or green flag. So red bad, green good, right? Voice texting a client while driving.
Green.
Okay. Okay. Because you're not typing, right? You're
Right.
just
Yeah.
voicing. Okay.
Yeah.
Taking work calls at your kid's soccer game.
Mostly red for me.
Like one call, green.
Those games can be long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are breaks.
So mostly red, but a green's okay sometimes
Yeah.
if the game's
Yeah.
long, going into overtime. Turning your phone on do not disturb after 7 p.m. Red or green?
Red.
Too early?
Talking about the balance with kids, my kid time is really from 5 to 8,
right? Yeah.
And then they go to bed, and so then I need to catch up on calls after.
So you're green.
So
at
I'm
8 to 10.
green.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like yellow 5 to 8, and then it's green from like 8 to 10.
Yeah. Is there a yellow flag?
We can make one up.
Sure. We
This
just
is
did.
our game, ladies. This is our
Perfect.
game.
Yellow flag.
Bringing your kid to a showing. Red or green?
It's like the same answer for soccer for me. It's like red, but like maybe once in a while green's okay.
It depends on the client.
Mhm.
I mostly say red, but
Yeah.
every now and then, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People like my kids.
They're cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes they help sell.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Yeah.
All right. Lowering your commission to get the business.
Red.
Red.
Okay. I'm glad that I got the reds there.
Yeah.
Well, ladies, I can't believe our time is over, but thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for
So
having
fun.
us. This was so
having the
fun.
two of you here, and I just appreciate. I know how hard you work. I know you have an incredible team, and it's so exciting to see you continue to grow and flourish. So
Thank
for
you.
joining me. Thanks for joining me on Corr Values. Thanks to all of you, and until next time, remember, you got this.